Hi everyone, welcome to Muddy's Trophy Pursuit. It is the time of year we've all waited for. The season just opened here in Iowa. Alex and I had an awesome hunt last night in the opening evening here in Iowa. We were sitting over an Arrow Seed brassica plot. We saw 6 bucks all together. They were sparring with each other. We heard snort wheezing. They were chasing each other around. They were hitting scrapes. We had 3 bucks walk right by us. The buck that we went in for, we actually did see. He's just a super heavy 8-pointer. Alex named him 6-pack and a pound because I bet you this deer is close to 300 pounds. I mean, a monster-bodied, fully mature whitetail that we have a few years of photos of. So we almost got it done. He skirted us at 50 yards. I'm sure you'll probably be able to watch that hunt next week here on Trophy Pursuit, and hopefully some more hunts. The team is out in full force. The weather will be decent tonight. It's supposed to warm up throughout the week this week, and then I think towards the end of the week, we have a front pushing through and the temperatures are going to plummet. It's supposed to be, right now they're calling for in the 50s by the end of the week. So it should be good. If you got a good food source, you can probably get on one early. On today's show, we're going to start things off with youth season here in Iowa. Cody Bisher, Ryan Vantomi, they take out Nicky Wilkinson's son, Caleb, and he shoots a doe during youth season out of a Muddy Bull blind. So after that, we're going to go ahead and talk to some team members about some of the hit list bucks they'll be chasing this year and hopefully wrapping a tag around their antlers. So thank you so much for watching Muddy's Trophy Pursuit. We'll see you here next Monday.
Trophy Pursuit is proudly presented by Muddy Outdoors, Monster Meal Deer Attractant, Scent Crusher, Upwind Odor Elimination, Matthews Archery, Dead Ringer Broadheads, Arrow Seed, Vortex Optics, and Big Game Tree Stands.
What's gonna happen when that deer comes in the night? You remember?
Probably
With the gun?
Yeah. Maybe.
Focus.
Relax, focus, follow through, and aim right behind the shoulder.
And squeeze the trigger. What are you gonna shoot, like a 130, 140, 150?
It's doe patrol.
Yeah.
Doe patrol?
Yeah.
Doe patrol. We'll have to call Corey if there's a buck out there that we want to shoot, because we'll have to get the okay.
Cold front, big bucks are on their feet.
We'll kill a buck.
Ready to rock and roll? What do you got there? Coca-Cola?
Cherry Coke.
Alright, big buck Coca-Cola, cherry Coke. Well, here we go. Rockin' south.
We got 2 doe right out here, and I just ranged up their bull at about 118 right now. We're gonna see if they can get a little closer, which they're moving closer to us right now. See if we can't get a shot. They're moving closer, but they're moving towards the light. Right, so it's good clear video, a nice clear video. Let me see the range on it. You tell me a quarter away. That's the best shot we can get right there. Right, so it's good clear video. Okay,
100-yard shot. 100-yard shot. Give me some skin, buddy. Last weekend, we got Arrow Seed Brassica Plus plots on both sides. And it's early for as warm as it is, and these deer came out. And Ryan took him out practicing 2 weeks ago because he had missed a deer, which was awesome. Ryan took the time to let him practice and practice and practice and squeeze the trigger and all the things that you want to make sure that a youth hunter can do. And I tell you what, for a 20 gauge at 100 yards, you did good. Real good. Your mom's gonna be proud. In fact,
Just put it right on her back and pull the trigger.
while you're waiting here, we'll call your mom. Let me talk to her while this video camera's rolling,
Okay.
so you can tell her all about it.
Not even 6.
Not even 6 o'clock.
We got a doe down. $100 yards.
Good shot.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Yeah, she's big.
Thank you for watching Trophy Pursuit.
Yeah, we're gonna call Corey now and tell him thank you for letting us use his blind.
We got gloves.
Yeah, we have gloves. Wow.
Well, thank you for watching Trophy Pursuit.
Yeah.
Caleb's got a nice mature doe down.
Sighting this gun in about a week ago, and I was aiming a little high at 100 yards, like 4 inches high from where I was supposed to be aiming because of the wind, and it would drop a little bit, but today we were out here and I shot, and the bullet went right where I aimed, so it was a little high, but we still got the job done.
Hey guys, it's finally October. It's finally that time of the year that we've all been looking forward to. Part of me can't believe it's here already, but the other half says we've been waiting on this for a long time. So we're very, very excited to be heading to the woods again. We want to take a minute here to talk to you guys about some of the hit list bucks that we've got going into this season so you guys can watch for them. A lot of these bucks, or some of these bucks, overlap with other team members as we do work together a lot, but so far nobody's talked about these. So I'll start off with a buck that we call the Cloud 9. This is a buck that found his shed last year, and actually I found an old one last year as well. But it's a deer that was on the hit list early in Velvet last year, took him off when he went to Hardhorn, but this year he is definitely old enough to be going after. He's a deer that has already been walking the same route down a fence line, working some scrapes the last couple weeks. So we've got a plan set in place for him, and I would guess that we'll probably be going after this buck this week. He's definitely old enough to shoot, and if we get a crack at him, I'm going to fill a tag on him, that's for sure. So next on the list is a buck that we call P2, or Pop Cans 2. Call him that because of that pedicle right there. I found this shed last year, and actually when I found it I didn't even know what deer it was. I just thought he had a big base. We went back through the pictures and found some photos of him, and he wasn't even on our hit list. We didn't think he was much of a buck. We thought he was old enough, but I was not wanting to fill my tag on this deer. This year he has made a little bit of a jump, so I'm very excited to see that, and this is one of the deer that we know is old enough, and now that he's made a little bit of a jump, if he walks out he's going to get an arrow. And actually I'm kind of hoping that he waits until late season, because we've got plenty of food in place that we should be able to draw this guy in. So this is definitely one to watch for, definitely one that I think we've got a chance to take out. Next is this buck we're calling Crossbeam. This was a deer we didn't really have a name for last year. We just called him the Split 2 buck because of that right there. He's got big brows, and I found this shed in January, and was happy to see that he made it through. It was a deer that I was really looking for all season and never got caught up with him, going back through trail camera pictures, we did kind of narrow down what his plan is, or what he does throughout the season, as far as what parts of the farms he's using, and he's doing the exact same thing this year, which is great. Right now he's in a spot that's a little bit hard to get to until the crop comes out. So it's a deer that we are definitely looking for. We've got it kind of narrowed down, so hopefully if he does the same thing he did last year, we should be able to at least get a sighting of this deer or start moving in on him. So this is definitely one of the deer that we're going to be hunting hard this year. The next two deer are a couple bucks that have been using the same farm but way different areas and way different characteristics about how they're moving. The first one is a deer that I'm calling Niner. Just a big frame 9-pointer, good mass all the way through. Definitely a deer that when he walks out, there's gonna be no hesitation. He's gonna get it. But he is one that has been moving in daylight already for the whole last month. If he keeps moving through the same spot, the same way that he has been, I'm definitely gonna move in and try and take this deer early. The other deer that's his counterpart is a deer that I'm calling Midnight Rider. I'm calling him that because since July, I have not gotten a single picture of this deer outside of the hours of 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. That's a deer that I don't have a whole lot of confidence that I'm going to get on. I know I've got some work left to do to figure out where exactly he's living at and try and move on him. So that's where he's at. Like I said, I'm not sure that I'll get a crack at him this year, but he's definitely one that's on top of my hit list. So hopefully the story on one of these bucks you guys will get to see play out over the next month and a half. It's going to be really exciting for us to be chasing these deer, and we're hoping that you guys can follow along with the story. So thanks again for watching Trophy Pursuit. It means a lot to us that you're here.
All right, so we're about a week away from season opening up, and down here checking one of our brand new Arrow Seed food plots on a brand new farm that Brian Lance and I have permission to hunt on this year. We just got a stand cut into this, and after spraying and fertilizing, this Arrow Seed plot just absolutely took off. Really excited to see what's going to show up here. As far as bucks to hunt this year, it's been an interesting year. It's not like the last 2 years where I've been after one specific deer. It's really opened up. Really spread out. I've got a few different farms with maybe a buck or two on each one of them that I would consider put on the hit list. I'll start out with a farm I grew up hunting. It's a little 40-acre woodlot. Blaine and I did a ton of work on it, put a water hole in, and the muddy cameras there are showing a couple really good deer. One of them that I'm definitely putting on my hit list. I feel like he's probably a 4 or 5 year old, maybe 160-inch 10 with some unique characteristics. And then there's another really wide 8. We don't have names for either one of these deer yet, as we just started getting pictures of them a few weeks ago. But both of these deer we feel are mature, and we're hoping that our plan out there with the watering hole, making some trails and some mock scrapes is gonna put one of these deer in our lap. Another farm in southeast Iowa that I've got to hunt. We just went down, checked cameras today, checked all the stands down there. Things are looking good. But we just don't have any real mature deer showing up. A buck that I call one-sider from last year disappeared, and there's some old deer on the farm that definitely need to be taken care of, but nothing spectacular yet. There's one big 8 that I've got pictures of from last year and one picture of from this summer passing by. But other than that, everything's kind of a question mark. This is going to be the year of definitely using our muddy cameras to scout, even during the season. Being careful about how we go and check those cameras during mid-October, making sure that the wind is right, and checking them at those critical times to see what deer are starting to move on their feet, what deer have moved in, and when we're going to decide to go after them. So I'm excited, to say the least, about this season. It's definitely going to be a different year.
I've been lucky enough to pick up a couple farms last year and this year. I have the one farm I've hunted for about 10 years that's family owned. That farm, there's a couple good deer on it. First deer is a buck I call Sweeps. He's 5.5 years old this year. Multiple years of trail cam pictures of him, and he hasn't really done too much. So this is going to be the year I'm going to target him and hopefully capitalize on it. Another deer is a buck I call Poser. He's a tall tined 8-point. Same thing. He's 5 or 6 years old. Hasn't done much over the last few years, and just another one to get out of the herd. Buck that showed up last year, I like to call Trash. He's mainframe 8 or 9 pointer, but he's got splits and kickers. He's super tight. He's maybe 13 inches wide, but really heavy. He's a cool looking deer. One deer I'm really looking forward to. I've had a couple pictures of him over the last 3 years. He's a buck I call Little Kickers. He's an absolute giant. He's 4.5 years old this year. I can't pass him. I couldn't pass him if I had the opportunity. I've never been able to chase a deer of that caliber before. And if he messes up this year, I hope I can capitalize on it. Another farm I have is where I killed my bow buck last year. It's in a little bit closer to home. There's 2 main deer on this farm that are on the camera again this year. One is the mule deer buck. He's back this year. He's only got 1 split, but he put on about 6 or 7 inch additional bonus point off the base, which kind of made up for it. Well, and then another buck on this farm is the drop tine buck. Going into this summer, I put out my cameras again, and sure enough, he showed up right away. Definitely blew up this year. He's moved his drop tine back a little bit. It's almost a flyer. It's off the main beam, and he's number 1 on the hit list on this farm. But we're gonna hit that farm pretty hard. We know there's good genetics on that farm. That farm's got a history of giants, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to bow hunt it this year, and I'm gonna do my best to capitalize on that chance.
Casey, Corey, Nikki, myself. We got some big farms to hunt, a lot of deer to go after. It's been almost overwhelming trying to figure out where to hunt, during the rut even, because there's deer in and there's deer out. But we do have some consistent bucks from last year that are going to be on the hit list this year. Number 1 on the list is the famous Billy Bob. Casey found his shed last year. I had 1 encounter with him last year. We had trail camera pictures of him all year long, 95% nighttime. The few times that it was daylight shooting hour movement, we were in the wrong tree. Long story short, we did not kill Billy Bob, but he stayed on the farm the entire year. This year, unfortunately, we have not gotten really any pictures of him, but with that being said, we have not went into where he hangs out and put cameras. We just kind of staying out of it. It's a secluded bean field. His buddy, which is probably number 3 on the list, we call Hang Time, just a great big frame buck. He was on the farm the entire year last year too. In fact, I think Casey might have encountered them fighting during the rut when he was walking into the stand in the dark, because Billy Bob ended up having broken eye guards on the next camera pole. So those 2 bucks, one and number 3, are on a farm that they stayed on an entire year last year. So we have a lot of hopes. We have an arrow seed fall plot planted in a secluded little area that they both like to go through a gateway. Number 2 on the list, I named Mr. Potential, and now we're calling him AKA Reddington, kind of keeping him on the down low. But he blew up. He was broken off last year. He was crossing a creek from our property and the neighbor's property and back and forth. Looked mature. This year we're saying 5.5, possibly 6.5, but probably more like 5.5. He's got points going everywhere on the inside, on his right side. I shouldn't say everywhere, but he's got a lot of stuff going on. Sharp rack. So he's number 2. Number 4 on the hit list, I don't want to speak for Casey and Corey, but I'm going to go with a buck we call Southpaw. Great big mainframe buck with a big drop. He's on the farm, hit and miss randomly, but we do got daylight pictures of him, so he'll be a buck we're going to try to figure out here come end of November, or end of October. And number 5, I'm going to go with, probably for Casey's sake, Stallone, great big 8-pointer. He is moving daylight hours. He's been hitting the clover pretty hard. That's our top 5. We probably have a top 10 hit list, but I'm going to stop there and get back to it and make sure there's no nose coming.